This episode of 6'5 Guys is brought to you by Defiance Machine, defying tradition with innovation. Our Bros Rifles, precision on another level. JC Steel Targets, the industry leader in quality AR-500 steel targets.
Welcome to 6'5 Guys. I'm Steve Lawrence.
And I'm Ed Mobley. And today we bring you one of our more anticipated videos, and that is, what are we currently shooting? What are we running?
Yeah, so we're in the 2016 PRS season, and we've actually had these rifles in their current configuration for about 3 or 4 months. Have taken them to a few matches, but of course, folks that are following us, they're kind of interested in sort of the evolution of how we might have changed things up.
Absolutely. So Steve, I mean, you've probably made some of the most notable changes.
Yeah,
Do you want to share that?
Absolutely. So you guys may have been familiar with the rig I was running last season. It was kind of similar to Ed's, but there are some very significant changes. In fact, that rifle I still have in its current configuration. It's sitting in the safe. It's a 6.5 by 47. The biggest change, obviously, in appearance is I'm now using a XLR Evolution carbon fiber chassis. And the other big change is I decided to explore the grass on the other side of the hill. They always say things are greener on the other side of the hill. A lot of guys, as you know, are shooting 6mm.
One of the few things in life where smaller is better, right?
That's right. So I decided, hey, let's go check that out. I'm going to go ahead and run 6XC for this season. So my rifle, starting from the top, I'm shooting a APA little bastard break on a 24-inch Broughton barrel 1-8 twist. This is a medium Palma contour. And as always, we are using the Defiance Action. Very similar to the Deviant. This is sort of a custom spec build that Our Bros Rifles has put together. It's called the Rogue Gen 2. And it's all sitting in a carbon fiber XLR chassis. And then to top it off, I have an American Rifle Company M10 scope rings. These are the extra talls, just because for this Beast scope, Light Force Beast scope, it needed to clear the shroud. One of the nice things I noticed about this shroud is it does give me some mitigation of mirage, which is a nice thing. Now, why did I go this route? It is a little bit different, shorter barrel, lighter contour. I was trying to lose weight. As you get older, you're not quite as strong. And with all the positional stuff and all of the run and gun stuff that we do in a PRS type match, I did want a lighter, more nimble rifle configuration. And I thought I could get away with it from the fact that in shooting a 6mm, you're not going to have as much recoil to deal with. So I was able to actually shed a little bit of weight in the rifle, and at the same time move to a 6mm bullet, which I'm currently shooting a 105 Burger. Continuing on, so talking about the trigger, I'm shooting a Huber 2-stage, and I'm still using the Atlas bipod. This is still the 8.1. I'm using the Tactical Supply Talon feet, and this is on a quick disconnect, which is the ADM 170S QD lever. So that's pretty much it. The sling, we actually have adopted the sling that
the SS Loophole.
Yeah, the SS Loophole that the Hog Saddle folks have developed.
Yeah.
And I actually love it. So you'll notice here I have put a sling stud swivel here, so that when I'm using the sling with the carabiner,
doesn't torque the rifle.
Yeah, it doesn't torque the rifle to the side. So that's
Yeah.
why that's there. And then you'll also notice that I have integrated my own hack here. It's a barricade bag, but it works. So that's why I put it there.
And don't forget this, because I'm going to start running it as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So we actually had a gear update on this not too long ago. So this is the Python dope card holder. This is made by Marcus Blanchard's company, and so I actually love this. So I'm not giving that up. That'll always be on there, and you know, I'll still occasionally run an arm board if I need to carry my dope, but I think this is really the way to go, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean, there are some stages where in the last match I lost some time because, you know, the arm board flipped over. You know, I thought I was going to memorize my dope, I didn't, and so just having that just front and center. I mean, you don't even have to break your cheek weld to make changes in elevation.
Now, Ed, you were asking me about you know, why do I have on my mag this Velcro, and the reason why on the XLR carbon fiber it has these ribs that are milled out of the receiver, and there's no way. No good place to put it here, and occasionally if I'm running a barricade up here, I don't want my cartridges up here.
Right.
So what I found is I can actually put this here, and it gives me an additional 2 rounds. So you know, you got 10 in the AIAW mag with an extra 2 here. So that's 12.
Yeah, I like that. That's really nice, and as a lot of folks have probably discovered, you can actually get 11 rounds in that AW mag,
yeah.
And then you put that 2-rounder on there, and so you got 13 rounds, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about yours.
Well, I mean, I think mine's going to be somewhat anticlimactic from the folks that have watched our prior gear videos. And I played a bit. If you watched our Las Vegas match video, I played around a bit with the XLR Element chassis.
Yep.
And you know, while I really liked it as far as a chassis is concerned, just with my facial construction, I found that the cheek rest just tended to push me out to the side. And when I was watching the video of the match, I noticed that I just kind of saw myself struggling to really get you know, the proper, you know, side-to-side sight picture, because there is no side-to-side adjustment of that cheek piece. And then, you know, I really, you know, on this Manners stock, what I really like is, you know, my hand as I naturally hold it, you know, it just goes right on there.
Yeah.
And I just found for my hand, you know, my thumb was torquing the side of the chassis, and it was just causing just some wild shots, even at 100 yards. I mean, to the point I thought something was like broken. But again, I just say this in the context of the #1 PRS shooter today is shooting an XLR chassis.
That's
so
right.
it's nothing against the chassis. It's just that, you know, our bodies just come in different shapes.
Yep.
And so, you know, I've gone back to the Manners stock, the T2A. I really value this slope right here as far as ease of elevation adjustment. Now, I did send it back to them to get flush cups put fore and aft on each side.
And I noticed you are running a Pic Rail now instead of a sling stud swivel.
Right. So, in speaking with Tom Manners at SHOT Show, if you ask them, they'll actually reinforce this area if you want to run a bipod on a stud. But if you're running this Pic Rail, you know, it's going to distribute that force, you know, between the 2 studs.
Yeah.
So you probably don't need to, you know, get it reinforced if you go this route. Because before I had a little crack showing up. It didn't affect function, but again, you know, the folks at Manners, of course, you know, fixed everything. And so again, you know, from a stock, the Manners, I did add the adjustable length of pull.
Yeah, notice you kind of have a couple of spacers in there.
No, it's just one. I just needed that extra, I mean, not even a 1/4 of an inch.
Okay.
And for me, it just made all the difference, particularly with the Vortex scope. You know, tends to want to be kind of far away from you, and that's another reason I kind of have it all the way forward.
I know with the brake, of course, you're
APA
using
Little Bastard,
the APA Little Bastard, which we're both using.
Yeah.
You know, because we practice together, I'm sure you noticed as well as I have, it's even more unpleasant to shoot next to each other with this type of a break. Now, we moved to it because, like many of you, we saw some of the research and the article written by Cal Zant on the Precision Rifle blog of how effective these brakes were. We decided to give it a try.
They are, but I think the name Little Bastard is appropriate because the person next to you
is calling you out.
Yeah, is calling you out. But getting back to the rifle here, so I'm still shooting 6.5 by 47. I'm able to run the 130 VLD huntings at, right now they're coming out at 3,020. You run the numbers on that. I'm not losing anything to the 6 mil crowd.
Yep.
And I mean, I like my rifle heavy, so I've stayed with the Palma Contour Broughton barrel. It's a 26-inch barrel. And to add even more weight to my rifle, I probably went with one of the heaviest scopes on the market, which is the
but built like a tank.
Built like a tank.
Yep.
And you see a lot of these because for the value and what they offer, just a great scope. So I've also got the same scope on my 223 trainer, and I'm using the Seekins 1-inch rings, and the Vortex matched rings are made by Seekins. So these are branded Vortex, but on my trainer they're the Seekins rings. And then, like you, I'm using the Quick Connects right here, and it's really nice because a lot of times in matches you want to do a quick switch out of the bipod. Maybe the longer
so
one.
Fast,
it's just super fast, and then I can move it around to other rifles. Again, like you, using the talons.
Don't you love those? Those are great.
Yeah, and they're made of aluminum, and I've noticed that shooting off concrete, like they say, it really mitigates a lot of the hop. I mean, they're probably not as sharp as some of the super sharp ones, but
I almost consider that a good thing.
So. So now when you can actually put this on a shooting mat.
It's not going to poke.
Yeah, it's not going to poke a hole.
Yeah.
And of course, using the Seekins bottom metal, I'm continuing to use the jewel trigger, which I have set exactly at 14 ounces on both this and my trainer rifle. And of course, like you, using the SS loophole sling. You can see the carabiner here that I would put on my belt. And that's pretty much the tour of my rifle.
One comment I did want to make is, in moving to an XLR chassis, it's not that I didn't like the Manners stock. In fact, I actually had a Manners on order. It came down to timing. The rifle was built, was ready to go from Arbros Rifles. He was waiting on the stock from Manners, and as many of you know that have ordered from Manners, they're so wildly popular, it's such a great product, that there is a wait time, and I would have had to wait an extra couple of months. I decided I didn't want to wait, so I went ahead and had them order a couple of chassis for the match rifle as well as my trainer. I wanted it configured the same. But, I think...
Well, it's good to know you have options on the market.
Yeah, it's good to know I've got options, and it allowed me to try different product, and, I like it, but I think, when I get the next configuration, I'll probably be going back to the Manners because I'll have the stock by then.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me the big thing for the Manners was just the hand position, and with this now, I mean, when I sight this thing at 100 yards, I mean, they're just routinely one-hole groups. If I'm not shooting a one-hole group with this rifle, I'm having a bad day. I mean, so I'm just very, very pleased. And of course, like yours, built by Arbros, and of course using their version of the Defiance Deviant action, the Rogue action, which has the Guardian cut that allows you to use both the AW and the AICS mags.
Yeah. So, so far so good on the match season. The rifle is, much more capable than I am, and I always start each outing hoping that I can do the rifle justice at each match.
Yeah, again, I'm very happy with 6.5 by 47. I mean, at least for me, when I'm missing targets, it's not because of the rifle or the ballistic deficiency of the cartridge. It's just my failure to build a stable position quickly. So that's really where I'm focusing my training and my time. But from an equipment standpoint, my trainer, and then this will be another video, we're going to be building up 308 rifles. I mean, they're just going to be clones.
Yeah. So that's it for the match guns for this season. Our trainers, we did a separate video on that, and you'll see that they're configured pretty much the same.
Yeah, and so folks, I mean, we get a lot of email traffic and questions about our gear, so please continue to do that, and we'd be more than happy to answer your questions. So with that, folks, remember, life's an adventure.
Stay on target.